In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can find your very first wholesale supplier using SellerAmp. This strategy I'm going to be breaking down is for brand direct wholesale, which is a strategy I've done a lot in the past where I personally work with big national brands who don't sell on Amazon themselves. So we come in as third-party sellers and we go ahead and capitalize on the demand that their products have on Amazon. If you want to get really fancy with it, you can also play around with their listings and pay-per-click ads and all that kind of stuff to really add value to these brands. But brand direct wholesale is a great way to get your feet wet with the business model. But if you're brand new to the channel, my name's Warner Fields from SellerAmp. I'm a 7-figure full-time Amazon seller, and it's our goal with this channel to equip you with the tools and knowledge that you need to go out there and crush selling on Amazon. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into my computer screen over here, and if during this video you get value out of it, feel free to hit that subscribe button. That helps us out a ton, but let's go ahead and jump into it. So I went ahead and pulled up this product right here. This is just gonna give us a nice little starting point. You can start from this same exact product. What I'm trying to show you with this specific product here is that we're just looking for any product on Amazon that, number one, is being sold by more than one seller, usually not the brand themselves. A lot of times I would like to see more sellers on it. I've done my research. This seems like a pretty good place for us to start, and you'll see why it doesn't really matter here in a second. So on this particular listing right here, over here on the chart section of SellerAmp, we can see that, number one, there's really consistent pricing on an item like that. That's one sign that the item might be a wholesale oriented item. In this case, there's probably a MAP policy, a minimum advertised price, where this brand is saying, hey, no one can sell our products for less than, looks like $14.48 in this case, and that buy box line holds really stable there. I would really imagine that's what's going on here. And then right down here on the bottom section of our chart, we can see the number of new sellers over time. It looks like there's pretty consistently been 10 to 12 to 13 sellers. So we know that this listing is not super controlled. There's an opportunity for us to come in on an item like this, grab a little bit of these sales, try to offer value to those brands in the meantime. But now that we have identified a potential brand that you might be go ahead and contact, we can actually use this as a starting point to find a ton more brands that you can go ahead and contact. This is a good example brand, but from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look at the other sellers that are on this listing. Because if we're correct in assuming this product is brand direct wholesale, the sellers on these listings are going to have other brand direct wholesale accounts, kind of reverse engineer, see if we can do the same thing with those same exact brands. So let's go ahead and click on this guy right here. They seem to have a lot in stock. They do have a lot of feedback, which typically isn't the best. It could mean they have some, some exclusive contracts, some stuff like that. It gets really fancy with it. So if you find a kind of middle of the road wholesaler, it's really awesome. But right here on the top brands section of SellerAmp, I'm basically looking for brands that I've never really heard of before. Maybe I have. A lot of times there's going to be a ton of opportunity to work with those brands that are small to mid-sized brands. The really, really big brands, they're typically going to have existing connections, existing brand direct accounts. It's always worth a try. Get your foot in the door, see what you can do. But we're really looking for those small to medium-sized brands. So I've never heard of this company. Let's just go ahead and see what we got going on here. And as I'm looking through these items, I just quickly want to verify that this is an item that I potentially could get on a wholesale basis. Basically, the whole reason we even do this research at all is to make sure we're not wasting time if we go ahead and email the brand or call the brand. We don't want to waste our time and be ending up on listings where the brand themselves are already selling, or there's clearly a controlling seller on these listings. So on these listings, I'm seeing 3 to 5 sellers, somewhere around there. That's a little bit lower than I would usually like to see. But I'm just going to go ahead and poke around here to the Amazon listing. And this right here, this is why we do our homework. Right here, the brand themselves is selling on this listing. Maybe this brand is cooperating with this big wholesaler, but for whatever reason, that wholesaler is selling on a listing where the brand themselves is selling it. So if the brand themselves is already selling the product on Amazon, they're probably not going to want to work with a third-party seller. So we can just skip right past that. No reason to waste our phone call or our email with that. Let's go ahead and keep checking down the list here, see if there's any other things kind of sticking out. So this one looks a little bit better in my opinion. So number one, we've got the price lines are a little less stable, which could tell me that either this is wholesale and there's no MAP policy, so there's no minimum price that these guys can charge for it. And number two, that also shows me that there's a good amount of competition on these listings. There is going to be competition on these brand direct listings, but we're really looking for those listings where there's 3, 5, maybe even 10 other competitive sellers. Typically, if there's only one other seller, then there's probably some kind of existing contract. So I was looking at this particular product right here. I might just go ahead and click through here. SellerAmp's telling me that there's 13 offers on it, 10 FBA, 3 FBM. Looks like like the price is fairly stable. Looks like it is decreasing, which I don't like to see. But we're really just trying to see if this is a brand we would potentially want to work with. So over here on SellerAmp, I'm going to check the names of all these different companies over here. I'm also going to be looking to see what kind of feedback these sellers have. So as I'm scrolling through here, I'm seeing that a lot of these sellers have a lot of feedback. So that could tell me that this brand is difficult to get an account with. If only these massive sellers are getting it. I do see this guy right here with 116 ratings, but everyone else here has thousands of ratings. They're crushing it on Amazon. So this could be a harder brand direct account to get. There is a little bit of a lead to be had here. Seems like the brand is not selling on it. There's plenty of other sellers selling on it. A lot of these sellers do have a lot of feedback, as I mentioned. But from here, if we wanted to go ahead and see if we could open up an account with these guys, in this case, we would need to be buying it for really, really cheap. But we just want to see if there's other products in their catalog. You know, maybe this product right here. Maybe we can wholesale this. Maybe we can buy it for $9 or $8 right there that SellerAmp's telling us we need to pay for it. So from there, just go ahead and Google the name of that company that you're wanting to connect with. In this case, I'm seeing it right there. We'll save them their AdSense money on their ad there. But looking at this brand right here, seems to be a pretty standard website, but we're really just looking for a contact us, or even better right here is a wholesale inquiry tab. So we just go ahead and click through. There's probably some kind of sign up form. Yeah, so you just want to go ahead and fill all this out. You say you're interested in everything. Just drop a quick message. I would keep this message really simple. Just say, hey, we are interested in opening up a wholesale account with you. We currently are a retailer. I wouldn't lead with being an online retailer. A lot of brands don't like that. Later on, you can sell them on the value of selling on Amazon. You and I both know the value of these brands being on Amazon. Sometimes you have to sell them on that. So don't lead with the fact that you're an Amazon seller, but definitely don't hide that later down the road. So just keep it simple. Say, hey, I want to open up a wholesale account. What other information do you need from me? A lot of times they'll need like a resale certificate. Sometimes they'll need a business license. It really depends on the brand you're talking to. Depends on the state that your business is formed in as well. So if you're not sure on all that, go talk to your accountant. I'm underqualified for that. If you're unsure on any of your legal documents, all that kind of stuff. But right here, this is a potential brand that could be worth checking out. And so from here, you can see how we can just kind of do this infinitely. So this guy right here I was kind of interested in. They don't have a ton of feedback. So the brands that they are selling, there might be a better opportunity for us to get those brand direct accounts. If this guy only has 116 feedback, they're going to be more likely to have accounts that are a little bit easier to get than those guys who had thousands of feedback. So this brand right here kind of stuck out to me. It looks like that tea brand we just saw was kind of their main category or their main brand. So in this case, this one was the next one that kind of stuck out to me. This Food to Live brand. Looks like there's a lot less offers on this one, so maybe this brand new seller is crushing it and they're able to get a brand direct account, lock in something a little bit exclusive here. I also see that Food to Live is on this listing, so I think the more likely story here is this seller might be in for a treat, get some IP complaints if they're selling on listings that they should not be selling on. So why don't we go ahead and we saw this guy right here. They have a ton of feedback. Let's look for a different seller. It's funny, Mostly Shoes is selling on this tea listing. Let's see if they're telling the truth. Let's see if they got some brand direct leads for us. I do not think it's Mostly Shoes here. So that's kind of funny. So let's see about some of these other brands. These like I was talking about, I've never heard of any of these brands. Maybe you have heard of one or two of these brands. But these are the types of brands that are perfect to work with because they're those small to mid-sized brands. They're not really worrying about Amazon yet. Right here seems to be all one offer, so it's probably a exclusive contract they have with them. Let's check out this listing or this brand here. This Belvedere or however you say that. Yeah, it looks like only that one product has a BSR that's worthwhile. A lot of this is other, 173,000, 164,000. That's not really the game we want to play with wholesale. If you're doing like arbitrage or something like that, you can mess with products to sell a little bit slower. Wholesale, the name of the game is we want to buy as much as possible so we can get those big, massive discounts that we need to actually make money. Let's go and see. We got Wild Planet. This could be more what we're looking for, although I do see a lot of Amazon on these listings. I come across a listing like this though, 5-ounce can. It's kind of annoying to prep and ship, but a pack of 12 selling for $60. The price seems to be fairly stable. This sticks out to me as something that could be interesting. That lead right there, it's a 7,000 bestseller rank, so we could also go ahead and see how much this item is actually selling. See if it's worth our time. It does look like it's a variation listing as well. So the sales are going to be split between a couple of these other variations. Seems to be selling decently well though. Zooming down here on our charts over here. This would be another potential brand. This one's not the greatest lead. If you just want to get in some reps, send out your first couple emails, practice making those phone calls, reaching out to those brands. This is a good place to do it. It's low stakes because it's not really the perfect lead for us. Looks like a lot of Amazon, that kind of stuff. But if you do land the account, awesome. You've learned more about landing accounts, and potentially this brand is something worth reaching out to. More than likely, it's probably not a great brand to brand direct. Just go ahead and check out a couple more of these brands here. This is a fairly large company. I actually have heard of this brand before. So if you can go out and open an account with this brand, I'm sure you'll be doing great. But I would imagine that the brand themselves, they have an authorized distributor, something like that. But as I'm looking through the sellers on this particular listing, it looks like there's no specific account that they have. There's no, the brand themselves is not selling. So who knows? Maybe you could go out and land this account if you were a master negotiator. But as you can see, this strategy is super effective for building out those lists of the brands you want to go ahead and contact. Right here, there's a bunch of brands we would go ahead and look at. Keep looking at other sellers on those similar listings. Just as long as you're staying in the world where we're looking at brands that are being wholesaled, those are all going to be great opportunities for us to go ahead and reach out to those brands, see if we could go ahead and build that working relationship with these brands and really start to scale each other's businesses. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got a ton of value out of it. If you want to go ahead and give this strategy a try for yourself, go ahead and head to SellerAmp.com. There will also be a link down below. Activate that 2-week free trial of SellerAmp. Give it a try. Let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that. Always happy to answer those down below as well. But I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time.